Hello everyone and welcome to The No Show. I'll be your host Nathan Orenstein and today I'm going to be reviewing Exit 8. Exit 8 is written by Kentaro Hirase and Genki Kawamura, directed by Genki Kawamura and stars Kazunari Ninomiya, Yamato Kochi, and Naru Asanuma. A man finds himself trapped in an endlessly looping corridor when trying to leave a subway station. His goal is to reach Exit 8 by following a specific set of rules, but if he fails, he must start again. It is based on the video game of the same name. Exit 8 is a Japanese psychological horror film that's based on an indie video game that you can apparently beat in just a matter of minutes. Not only that, but it also doesn't really even have a story. You just play as a nameless protagonist trying to escape this endless loop. Luckily, the movie does give us a bit more to chew on than that, and it actually gives us a pretty interesting thematic reason for why this guy is trapped in this endless loop. Even then, this is still mostly a show not tell sort of experience, and the movie really excels at building this sort of existential dread from its constant, inescapable repetition and use of liminal space. You are effectively trapped in this corridor with our protagonist for the full 90 minutes, and while I'm not sure it's quite able to maintain that sense of dread over such a long period of time, it's still much more effective than I would have guessed given this concept. So how is he able to escape? Here are the 4 rules listed verbatim from an information sign in the movie. Do not overlook any anomalies. If you find an anomaly, turn back immediately. If you do not find any anomalies, do not turn back and go out from Exit 8. He starts at level 0, he goes through the loop, the number either goes up if he followed all the instructions or it resets to 0 if he failed. And that's the movie. An anomaly is just anything out of the ordinary from the original corridor, and there really is this desperation for him to pay close attention and catch these anomalies if he wants to succeed. Where the film does shake things up is actually in these anomalies, some of which can be pretty unsettling or surreal, which makes the repetition of this corridor even more uneasy. Yes, the movie is repetitive, and no, the concept really isn't that exciting, but I think the movie is doing enough to keep you intrigued from start to finish, or it did for me at least. Director Genki Kawamura really does a great job of pulling everything together to enhance the experience, from the droning ambient soundtrack, to the pitch-perfect production design, to the claustrophobic cinematography, and to the effective performances. The source material is so minimal here, and honestly, so is the news story written for this film, but Kawamura is able to create this sort of experimental psychological horror out of such a simple concept. As impressive as this is from such simple source material, it is still, at the end of the day, a 90-minute movie about a guy walking in an endless loop looking for anomalies. I would say I was more intrigued by the movie than I was actually entertained. I never lost interest, but I was also very rarely excited by what was happening on screen. And the movie does lull you into this sense of unease, but it also does run out of tricks to keep that feeling going. There's ultimately just not that much here, even if I did like where the movie eventually ended up narratively and thematically. I think a lot of people are going to be outright bored with this movie, and while that wasn't the case for me, I definitely understand that perspective. As with many experimental films, they're often more interesting and impressive than they are enjoyable, and I think that's where I land with Exit 8. Exit 8 is a strange piece of psychological horror that achieves quite a bit with such a simple framework. And while I did appreciate and was even captivated by everything offered here, the ceiling for overall entertainment value just isn't that high with this one. If that uneasy repetition and use of liminal spaces sounds freaky to you, definitely give this a shot. But if it doesn't, you're probably going to hate this movie. I personally fell somewhere right in the middle there, and I'm going to be giving it a 6 out of 10. If you enjoyed the review, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And if you've seen Exit 8 already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. Thanks for watching.